Hello and welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Millie and I love any makeup, especially shiny, shifty, and sparkly eyeshadows, and I have a very exciting video for you today. I'm going to be talking all about the new Glamlite and Mikayla collaboration palette. She's an amazing creator. She's also fellow masshole, so I knew I had to get this palette because I was really excited, not just because I love her, but also that we both live in Massachusetts, and I feel like you don't really see many like really huge, really popular creators and that are from Massachusetts. So I just feel like we have that like special bond, and she has a very thick Bostonian accent and it's really fun. She's gained 5 million followers on TikTok over the last year, which is just absolutely amazing. But since the first TikTok I saw of hers a year ago, I just immediately knew I was a huge fan. And so congratulations to Mikayla and Glamlite on this collab. This is a first for both of them, and I think it's just a great match. So let's talk about the palette. I did also grab one of the lashes. This was a style Code Orange, and I felt like this was a style that I would see myself wearing more. They're very, I'm wearing them right now, they're very fluffy. They're super soft. They're very glam though, and that's just the style of Mikayla, so it makes perfect sense. So here's the palette. I will put up some nice close-ups. Unfortunately, mine already had two very slight cracks in window, but regardless, nothing is falling out. It's really beautiful. And then here's the inside of the palette, and this is actually supposed to be an even better formula from Glamlite, so that's why I was extra intrigued. Especially the shimmers, they're absolutely amazing. They definitely look like on par with other Glamlite shimmers. I have tried other Glamlite palettes, not that many, but I have tried some, so I can definitely tell that these look pretty much like similar to them, but there's some like special ones that are like extra sparkly, so definitely putting some of those on my lids in the 4 looks that I'm going to be creating, including this one that I have on right now. Especially the shade Manifest is absolutely beautiful. Now, color story wise, I always say I don't really like to speak on the color story because I'm not the creator, it's not my vision, but if you followed her, you know kind of like what she aims to do on her TikTok and Instagram platform, and it's really, she does a nice really mixture of some really beautiful colorful looks and getting people comfortable with adding a little bit of pop of color here and there, but also doing some more neutral looks. And so that was her vision for this palette. She wanted the top row to be a little bit more, you know, neutral, some nude, so you have your staples, and then as you get down a lower in the color story and down the rows, you'll see that it gets just more and more colorful, and I think it's super fun. I love that. There's some really amazing colors in here that just immediately caught my eye, like Frisky, Masshole, and Freetown. These are probably some of my favorite mattes to use, so I was really excited. I don't think this is by any means like just another rainbow palette, because it really isn't rainbow. There's some colors that are missing from it if it was to be a rainbow palette, but regardless, I think there's a really nice mix of mattes and shimmers, and honestly, after doing 4 looks with it, I still feel like I could keep going. There's so many looks you could create with this palette. Of course, it is 30 pans, so it is rather large, but I don't mind. I love it. I find it inspiring. And for 3 other looks, I will be using also their pretty relatively new icing eyeshadow primer. I have the shade Classic Vanilla and White Frosting, which is basically the lightest skin tone shade and the white. So at the end of the video, I'll be kind of giving you some of my thoughts on these eyeshadow primers as well as the palette. But first, let's get right into the 4 looks. First look, I'm priming my look with the Glamlite icing in Classic Vanilla, and I'm just using a tiny bit, and I'm going to be kind of patting it in. Going in with Rhodey in the crease. And then Pat 2 right in the crease. I'm loving the spelling on this one. That's gonna mix to create a really beautiful purpley blue. Okay, this one's kind of sticking down a little bit for sure. Going back in with Rhodey above that. And here, it's like not wanting to stick down in here. There we go. And then going in with Masshole. I'm just gonna tap it on the outer corner and kind of wing it out, and tapping on a little bit more, and then going in with Frisky and blending that into the blue. Next, I'm taking the Glamlite eyeshadow primer in white frosting. I'm gonna do like a half a cut crease with this. I like to clean off the brush and tap out the other edge so there is no harsh lines there. I'm gonna put handy all over the lid on top of that. Just tapping it in. Then I go back in with Frisky. I'm just gonna layer that a little bit over the yellow and then Masshole. Finish off the lower lash line with Masshole to connect it with the outer corner and layer Frisky on top. I'm taking Rhodey and I'm going to put it right underneath the rest of my lower lash line. Going in with NARS for the inner corner. So I put on the Code Orange lashes from the collab, and then in my waterline I have the ColourPop Big Splash eye pencil. And so this is the finished look. Look number 2, priming again with the Glamlite icing primer. Going in with Buffalo Chicken, and I'm going to be putting that into half of my crease. I'm going to take a little bit of Handy and blend that above that. And then going back in with Buffalo Chicken, just a little bit. Next, I'm packing on Freetown on the other half of my outer crease. Gonna bring it onto my lid as well. And then I'm taking the best color and putting it and using it to blend that out. So we don't want these two to mix because they will muddy up. So I'm kind of staying clear. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more Freetown. And then bringing Freetown under my lower lash line. Taking the best color and putting it on the outer portion of that. And then taking Buffalo Chicken and just reflecting basically what I have in my crease. So taking it about halfway. Next I'm going in with Stunnin'. I'm gonna put that like pretty much in the center of my lid and blend it into Freetown. I haven't even swatched these shimmers yet because I just wanted to see how they apply onto the lid first. Very beautiful. I did not put any NYX glitter primer or anything down. And then going in with Accent onto the inner portion of my lid. Very sparkly. I do think I would recommend using a glitter primer if you have hooded oily lids such as myself. I'm gonna go in with my finger into Stunnin'. Oh, that feels so good. Wow, that's so pretty. And I'm just gonna tap it on. I just do want to see how it applies with a finger. Picking up just a tiniest of Freetown just to kind of make sure this outer corner is nice and blended. Put on the Code Orange lash on this side as well. And then using Outrage from LA Girl in the waterline. I thought it would match the orange a little bit better, but it doesn't. So here's the finished second look. Priming with Classic Vanilla. I did get a little bit of staining on my lid from that purple, probably. Very common shade to stain. This look, we're gonna do something a little bit more neutral. I'm going in with How You Doing right in the crease. And then Harley to help blend that out. I'm picking up a tiny bit of Willow. We're gonna just use it to deepen up this outer corner. But I'm gonna try to not drag it out too far, but you know I always end up blowing it way out. So I'm just slowly bringing it out. Trying to stay controlled, going back in just with a little bit more. And then putting Cookie with my finger onto the center of my lid. This is such a pretty shimmer shade. It's got a lot of different kind of sparkles going throughout it. And then What's Poppin'? Right in the inner portion. This one's like more metallic and less like almost sparkly, glittery. Definitely lighter, but I feel like it's like, you know, not that much different from Cookie once you put it on the lid. Finishing off this look with Willow, and I'm only going to put it right here. I'm not gonna do anything else. We're just gonna make this a very simple look. And for this look, I put on the Kiss Lashes in Bless. So here's the finished third look. So on to look number 4, and I'm actually going to prime with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. And the reason being is I'm just curious to see how the eyeshadow works on something else. And I'm going to be just very lightly setting this primer in my crease. First, going in with Simba. And I'm just going to keep this really small. I'm trying to do a lot of eyeshadows in the crease for this look. Then pressing in Iconic. So I'm gonna press these in first and then blend out the edge. Then I'm taking MJ and just stepping that on right next to the pink. And feathering it out a little bit on the edge. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of Patu, just to kind of deepen that up. Get back in with Iconic just to make sure that there's enough there. And I'm going in with Rhodey. And I'm only gonna kind of put it on the outer section. I'm gonna be putting in the deeper matte blue after. So going in with Mass Hole. And just tapping it on. And then blending that out. Going in with Mass Hole under my lower lash line. And I'm not going to take it too far. Putting the best color right underneath that next to the blue. And then Handy on the rest of the area. The shimmers I'm going in with Audrey. Right on the outer portion. This one is very sparkly. Definitely needs some sort of a glitter primer. Just going in with Immaculate next to that. Then the Simping. And lastly, Glow Up on the inner lid. I go over it with my finger. I feel like my brush made it kind of mixed together. So I put on the Code Orange lashes again. And in my waterline, I have Limelight by Beauty Creations, and so this is the fourth and final finished look. First, let me talk about the lashes. They're definitely on the thicker side. They're really fluffy. They feel really soft to the touch too when I was putting them on. They're rather long, so definitely you need to trim them. They're very glam, so they're not something I usually reach for. I like my lashes to be a little bit shorter, just a little bit more like your lashes but better kind of look, but I do appreciate a nice full thick glam lash here and there. It adds a lot of extra oomph to some like really nice beautiful smoky eye or something for a night out, so I really am enjoying these, and the band is actually really soft and comfortable. I didn't have any trouble putting them on or taking them off, and they don't feel pokey or anything, because there are some lashes that because they're so fluffy and long that their lash band is like stiffer and thicker, but these feel really comfortable, and it makes me want to look at some of their other lashes and see if they have some more like natural styles. So let's talk about the palette. I've done 4 looks, and I don't feel like I've even begun to touch like what's possible with this palette, and also I definitely don't think I have like the best idea. So this is more of like a first impressions after 4 looks, or just whatever, like kind of like a medium impressions, if you will. But I really love these shades. I feel really inspired. Their shimmers are really smooth. They're really shiny, metallic. Some of them have like almost like sparkles in them. It looks like glitter, but it's not actual glitter. They're really smooth. I do think that because of just how slick they are, they might give you issues if you have hooded oily lids like me. So I would recommend using some sort of a glitter primer primer or something tacky that dries down and gives you that longevity. The mattes are really nice. I do think that because of the nature of some of these like really colorful shades like Frisky, Pot 2, Mass Hole, and maybe even Freetown, I did have to do just a little bit of extra packing on and blending with those shades, but that's usually like very common for these types, especially purples. But they really packed a punch, and I actually think that they performed better on the set Natasha Denona base that I used for the fourth look for this look. I do feel like they just kind of blended out a little easier. They didn't kind of stick down, which is what pigments tend to do, is they like to stick down to a tacky base. So let's now talk about the eyeshadow primers, which obviously these are not part of the collaboration, but I have them. I've been trying them out, and I have some thoughts on them. I think they're pretty good, but again, just like any other eyeshadow primer that's in this style where it's basically like in concealer that you tap on your lids and then put eyeshadow over it. If you have hooded oily lids especially, I think this is mostly for people like me that have those problems. You're going to not want to use these if you're doing just like a light, like neutral look for every day. I think these are better for when you're using a lot of eyeshadow, so you're really setting it and you're packing on a lot of eyeshadow to really set it. But even then, I've experienced some fading on the outer corner with the mattes, especially not so much in the crease or like on the lid, just a little bit of creasing on the lid, especially with these shimmers, but especially on the outer lid with the mattes, I've noticed some fading. So that just leaves me to believe that these are just not the best for like really light looks. Definitely something, you know, if you really want to do some colorful cut creases, something really fun where you put on a lot of eyeshadow and you really set it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this palette. Did you pick it up or do you plan on picking it up? And also, what do you think of the eyeshadow primers from Glamlite? I would love to hear your thoughts, and huge congratulations to Glamlite and Mikayla, of course, on this amazing collaboration. So that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup, lots of shiny, shifty, and sparkly content already on my channel, and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.